chat. I don't know why this isn't loading. Can I change that? YouTube live control panel.
This one feels too long.
Reload, please. Select stream. There's the stream. Alright, we're streaming. Okay. We're live. We're live streaming to our live right now.
Oh, well, I was pulling my pants up.
Yeah, I haven't hit record yet though for the.
Okay. But anybody who just happened to be on YouTube.
Literally would have had to click like immediately or like been posted up. So I wouldn't worry about it.
Oh, I ain't worried about it. Listen, if it gets us fucking clicks, I'll fucking strip down to my underwear. I don't give a shit.
That's true. That's true. All right, you ready?
Sure. Something a lot like it.
Oh shit, I'm not even ready. Let me just get the IMDb up so I know all the names.
Yes. Let me do that as well. Oh, wow, I got magic going.
Maybe close to stuff. Might make your thing run a little better.
Dude, I like this set, man.
What's that?
Have you looked at this set at all?
Oh, no, I haven't looked at Magic Art since like Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's for me. It's Through the Omen Path.
Oh right, Through the Omen Path.
But I like that set as well. I like it when there's powerful cards that are not overpowered and don't distort the game. Hold on. Fuck. Let me save that cover because I don't know what the fuck I did to it. Dude, what did you think of the Omnibus cover?
Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. It's perfect.
Right?
It's perfect.
But like, it's a nice homage to the original.
Yes.
You know, see how it was like similar?
Yeah, I did.
And then we're gonna do. I like your. I was thinking your idea, but it was nice to to hear somebody else echo it, to do the original covers as like chapter headings. So yeah, I'm probably just gonna compile that. See if I want to put any special tweaks in there.
All right, let's just talk for 5 more seconds. Say some stuff.
Your voice is a little low. Let me see if me raising my volume helps.
Perfect.
All right.
All right.
Now I can hear. I raised my voice. Did that fuck you up at all?
I don't think so.
Okay. If I put my hand here, it phases out of reality.
All right, let's just talk for 5 more seconds. Say some stuff.
Your voice is a little low. Let me see if me raising my volume helps.
Okay, yeah, you are totally echoed. Great.
Yeah, I heard all that. That was god awful.
Yep. Okay. Horrible headphones that have been chewed on by the cat.
Nice. We're being chewed on by the cat. So, elixir drinks.
Okay.
I got ginger turmeric, and so Alive, if you want to sponsor the podcast of the recently deceased.
Check.
Check.
All right, we good. You good?
I'm good.
All right.
You're ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do this.
Get in there.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the podcast for the recently deceased. I'm the boss, Hosferatu. And with me today is Stephen Anthony from Dark Claw Studios.
What's up, everybody?
Today we are going
The crowd goes wild.
Today we're going to be discussing Black Phone 2, the long-awaited sequel to Joe Hill's adaptation. I believe the original was written and directed by Scott Derrickson, and so is this one.
Okay.
Starring Ethan Hawke, Mason Thames, and Madeline McGraw. For those of you tuning into the podcast for the first time, we are about to give you our quick summary and score of the film, and then we will enter spoiler territory. So no spoilers for the upcoming quick reviews, and then we will deep dive this bad boy and talk about all the little nooks and crannies. Stephen, why don't you kick us off?
So I'm all over the place with this movie. I not all over. I'm very consistent with how I enjoyed it. Very all over the place with how I rated it. So I did not see the first movie when I saw the sequel. So I that gives me a somewhat original way of how I approach it. So I saw two, then I saw one, and then I saw parts of two again. Definitely scarier if you watch the first one first. This movie is it's really good. I like that the director was on both. That explains the connective tissue that was between the two of them. I think they definitely stuck to Joe Hill's spirit of the first one. I'm going to give this movie a 7.
Okay. Um, Similar reaction for me. I did watch it twice before this episode. Um, I did like the exploration, the further exploration of the characters and their powers.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think you need to watch the first one first. Don't skip ahead. Uh, I, you know, I'm Ethan Hawke's performance. Once again, even though he was in so much less of this movie than the original, he's still he's such a great actor, such a great dramatic actor, and he really brings uh, a depth of emotion to the villain that you don't usually see in the horror genre. Um, Unfortunately for me, I did like it. I didn't like it as much as the first one. Um, I gave Black Phone a 7, so Black Phone 2 rings in at a 6.
I'm going to say, oh man, it's very very hard. I would have to like watch the first one and just like rate. I was just watching it just to like fill in the whatever pieces I had. The second one you could watch, and it did do flashbacks when it needed to. Um, there was one scene where he finds his sister where he was in the first one, and he just did not react to it until he walked out. So in the movie theater, I was like, okay, that's fine. I'll figure it out. He's pissed off about something, and then you watch the first movie. It's like, no, he's not pissed off about something. This is some major shit that happened here. So that part is the only thing that bothers me. If it wasn't for that, this movie would probably be an 8. Him spitting on the way out is just not enough. But yeah, Ethan Hawke, phenomenal performance, pound for pound. Being on camera a little bit less. I imagine if we added up the minutes, it'd be like maybe 5 or 10 minutes less, whatever it is. But the minutes that we get in the sequel knock you on your ass. Just phenomenal performance by all three, all four, I guess. Um, Everybody did a great job, but Ethan Hawke is just really frightening in this movie.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it was nice to see Mason Thames and Madeline McGraw a little bit grown up.
Mm-hmm.
And still like obviously with like makeup and costume to make them look younger. Um, and see how they've grown as actors over the years. Well, it's only been I guess 2 years since Black Phone One.
Well, Haas, let me ask you because I know you know the answer. The kid that is on her shit in this movie, and he's asking around, he's dating her, he wants to bring her to a concert, and they line up this job. Is that the same actor that played the protector of Finn in the first movie?
No, no, that's that character's younger brother. So that's Robin, and
Okay.
they discuss actually Finn and he discuss Robin briefly in the bunks in Black Phone Two, where he just says, "Is it true that you talked to Robin?" And he says, "Yeah." He's like, "What did he say?" He's like, "He basically said he wasn't going to leave me behind." And,
Okay.
and the brother is like, "Yeah, that sounds like him."
But played by a different actor.
The younger brother.
Yeah.
I don't.
So,
I don't think we see Miguel in the first. Oh, we do see Miguel in the first movie.
okay. So wouldn't there be an age difference there if Robin? Okay, because Finn is older than what's the character's name?
Oh,
What's her name?
wow! He played both characters.
He did.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Miguel Mora played Robin in Black Phone One, and he played Ernesto in Black Phone Two.
Okay.
Okay, that
See,
makes sense. It all makes sense
Stephen
now.
Anthony knows things.
Look at you. You could teach the Haas a thing or two. There's nothing wrong with that.
So how do you feel about that? How do you feel about the same actor playing two roles?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe they were twins.
I mean, you didn't even notice it,
I
so
didn't even notice it. It was well because
I'm gonna say it didn't bother you at all.
Robin had long hair and he was like the
Right.
badass. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, this kid can act for sure for playing two
yeah,
completely disparate roles because for playing Robin, Robin was, he was kind of like a vigilante. He was like,
yeah.
whatever, like a 12, 13-year-old protector. He was badass, but not a dick.
Right.
This kid is, Ernesto is, I don't know, just a supporting
Yeah,
good
he's
guy.
like a nerdy but still brave, whether it's
Yeah.
like naive brave, or just to save the girl, kind of bravery. Uh, yeah, he's a little nerdy. He's into Duran Duran. I don't know. He's there's a lot of nuance to his character in Black Phone 2. When Black Phone 1, he's a little bit more of like an obvious in your face type character. So yeah, so definite like complete opposite
Mhm.
of the role from the original.
So while we haven't given anything away as to what's going to happen in Black Phone 2, I think this is an excellent transition, Haas. If
We
you're ready
are.
to go into the deep details,
Here
break this one
comes
down.
here comes Spoiler City. If you have not seen Black Phone 2 and want to, go watch it and come back. If
Go
you
see it right now.
if you
Go, go, go.
if you don't care about spoilers, don't change that channel because here we go.
It's about to get real.
It's about to get real. Black Phone 2 opens what? It's 1 year later, I think. Um, it's pretty much the anniversary, I think. Of
Wait, 1 year later in
Oh
storyline?
no, no, it's not 1 year later. I'm sorry.
I'm going to say it
It's
feels like 5.
yeah, it's 4 or 5 years later, right? They're at least like juniors, maybe even seniors in high
Yeah.
school. Yeah, and they were what 12, so like 12 to 17. So yeah, at least yeah, about 5 years.
Yeah,
Um,
because he was a young kid. Like, that was the horror of the first movie, that he was a young kid being abducted by this sick F walking around with black balloons.
yeah, yeah. Well, so let me apologize for that 1 year statement and give everyone a quick little insight into how many horror movies I watch and how much the trope of some incident and then 1 year later the incident repeats. It's just so stuck in my brain that I think like every movie is like, oh yeah, that happened, and then a year later
And 1 year later, horror
the
movies have Pavlovian trained your dialogue,
yeah,
basically.
yeah. So basically, that's where my mind went just then. All right. So what do we open on? We open on uh, Finney beating the crap out of some kid, teaching him a lesson.
Well, because we're doing a deep dive, I just want to say the opening credits. This movie takes place, I think, in the '80s, right?
Oh yeah,
Like the last one was like very, very early '80s, so this is like closer to the mid '80s, and they did a great job recreating the '80s without mimicking how Stranger Things did it.
oh yeah,
So, and this movie has its very own feel. So, whoever the DP or director of photography was in creating this world nailed it. Seeing the second one without having seen the first one very quickly established the world for me. And then when I did see the first one, I appreciated it even more,
even more.
just replicating it and staying true to that vision. So, opening credit scene, I really, really like. And I don't know who Finn is. I don't think for whatever reason, I don't think he's a douchebag when he's beating the shit out of this kid.
Yeah,
And when his sister comes along and says, and he gives like an homage to Robin in the first film. Did you have to go that hard? Yeah, that one was for the crowd. I still don't think this kid's a dick, not having seen the first movie.
right, right. And he says quickly that the new kid started with him
Right.
because he wanted to the new kid wanted to prove himself, kind of like first day, like I'm gonna go beat up the bully, and people assume Finn is the bully because he wins fights, and yeah, he barked up the wrong tree and got his ass kicked.
Yeah, Finn. He went to the forge in the first movie, and he became a badass, and he became a warrior. He's still who he is, and he's still true to himself. But there's definitely some evolution and growth between the first and second film, and this kid's not going to take any shit this time around. And let me apologize and tell you how I don't watch horror movies. When I say, what's her character's name again for the second time, I'm going to write it down. I remember the actress's name is Madeline.
The sister.
Yeah.
The sister is somewhere. Finn
Gwen,
and Gwen.
Finn, Gwen, and Ernesto being the three major characters.
That's
In addition
right.
to the grabber.
Ryan the Grabber. Walking back from the fight, Ernesto's gonna pull up with his sweet Duran Duran tickets, which Gwen will mention are choice.
Listen,
And
I want Duran Duran
Duran
tickets in 1982, 3, 4. It
Yeah,
feels like 1982.
yeah. Yeah, she wants to go. So he drives off to shop class, and Finn says, "That's a date."
Yep.
Gwen,
Which is how we know right away, in case we didn't know, Finn's a good guy. He's charming, but this is his younger sister that he's going to be naturally protective of. And, letting her in on on what's happening. This is a date, just so you know.
this is a date. All right, so we're gonna step pretty much right into the meat of Black Phone 2. How the Black Phone was essentially a story about Finn and Finn's powers, accessing the other side through the phone, and him using the power to get all this information from the ghosts, and for them to teach him how to break free from his little prison there.
So I love that in the first movie. That very, very quick synopsis on the first movie. Each ghost is going to call him. They're going to help him. I didn't know that going in, that the ghosts are the good guys in this movie, or so just watching it and then watching the first one. That's what was not missing. They did something different, but what was very different from the first movie, instead of, hey, here's the way out, here's the way out, here's the way out, and they all failed. But no, they didn't fail. You learned, and you became that much better, and you're going to use all of them. And you're going to. I love how the first movie did that. This one, it's a little bit more action based. They're going to go retrieve the ghost for some reason where their mom used to work. But I like the first one. I like that setup better.
Right, I agree. The some of the important things in Black Phone 2 did feel, I don't want to say forced, but kind of shoehorned into position. Um, but broad strokes, Black Phone 2 focuses on Gwen's powers and how Gwen uses her powers to interact with the spirit world and resolve the issues of the second movie. So what you have by the end of the second film is a potential, paranormal investigation slash cleaning sort of brother sister duo. That
Are you asking who are they going to call, Nate?
yeah. I mean, I'm saying like
is that what you're doing right now?
This is a brother sister ghost busting duo by the end of the second film. Which, is there going to be a third one? Are they going to build a franchise off?
Absolutely, they are. Stop it. Stop it. You want to save the
Probably.
kids to the end? Fine, but they are.
They are.
Stop it. Money is to be made. And it's a good story. And the second movie, it didn't pound the core or the spirit or the essence of this movie into like just raw meat to like, oh God, the Hollywood bean counters just ruined this movie. No, they didn't. This movie was done with great care taken for what they established in the first film.
Yeah, absolutely. So we come right to the house and we see, the father, who was such a piece of shit from Black Phone 1, and he just opens a bottle of sparkling water. Okay. So the events of Black Phone 1 have cured him of his alcoholism. He probably doesn't abuse these kids anymore, right?
So that's where watching the second movie first it was one of the ways that it gave me a unique perspective. I had no idea. I hear how Finn is treating the father, and I'm like, okay, there's some bad blood there. Some shit went down. Apparently, this grabber had him, and Dad fucked up somehow. Right. He dropped the ball. Nope. You watched that first movie, Jeremy Davies, who you and I recently saw at our last convention.
Yes, he was
there. He was there. Well, we saw him. We saw his booth. And he might have seen ours. Jeremy, what's up? So what a great actor. But in the first movie, And his time was also greatly reduced in this movie.
Yeah.
So again, pound for pound, he had to add more. He had to do more because we had the characters from the camp that they were working at taking up screen time
Yep.
necessarily.
Yep.
But you know, he used what he had established in the first one to just kind of sort of not coast, but supply everything that we needed to know, or for me, fill in watching it. Great performance, but again, a lot of evolution and growth between the first and the second movie. He's not that, you know, whenever because Gwen also had her own abilities in the first movie with dreams, which Ernesto asks her about this time. And whenever the word dream came up, because it was reminiscent of his dead wife,
Right.
he would flip out. And there's still some of that there. So where I caught on it was they're talking about the job, and Finn's like, oh, you know, so the dad's like, how did you learn about this? And Finn's like, oh, some kids told her about it at school, rather
Yeah.
than her learning about it through a dream.
Right. Right.
So she still has the dream ability, and she's gonna get the black phone ability too in this movie, right, Haas?
Yeah, she does get a call on a black phone at the end,
Yep.
which I would like to save talking about until we get there.
But I will say, well, the first movie, I think you and I talked about this at the con a little bit. The first movie is definitely Finn's movie.
Yeah.
The second one is definitely Gwen's.
Gwen's movie, absolutely.
So maybe it's like if the ratios are 55-45, and then it flips in the other direction. So it's not 80-20, you know, Finn, Gwen, and then 80-20 Gwen, Finn. You know, they ride it very, very close, but definitely her movie this time around.
Absolutely. So we see that the father has cleaned up his act as far as we can tell. You know, he even says goodnight to Finn and tells him not to stay up too late.
So how did you feel about it, knowing who the father was in the first movie? How did you feel about it when he shows up in this one, and his parenting style, how he's trying, you know, to be a good parent without, you know, letting these kids, without letting the lunatics run the asylum? How did you feel
Yeah.
about him when he popped up on screen?
So the first thing you think when you see him is that guttural reaction of like that scene where he's whipping Gwen with the belt from the first movie, which was like
Brutal.
you'll never forget.
Yeah.
But then you have to feel bad for the guy a little bit in that, all right, we understand alcoholism and that, you know, the alcoholic father in a film or a book is probably going to be abusive, right? And then, not that that's an excuse, but then we take a step back and it's like, when did the alcoholism start? Was he always an alcoholic, or was it from the wife's suicide? And now, from new dad and a little bit from one of Gwen's dream sequences, we do piece together that he was a loving husband and father before his wife's suicide.
Mm.
Then he became an alcoholic, then he became abusive, and then the events of Black Phone 1 happened where he decided he had to clean up his act. And he did. So is he still a bastard? Do we forgive him? Yes, some people will say yes, some people will say no. He did at least go on and complete his redemption arc,
Mm-hmm.
especially with the events of the end of this movie, where he goes one step further and fully accepts finally the dreams. The actual events of how his wife died are revealed. He even joins the team for the final showdown. Um, so if you didn't believe his redemption arc by the beginning of Black Phone 2, you do believe it by the end of Black Phone 2.
Yeah. You know, I see him showing up, and I see him as this dad who's just not stern enough, not knowing his abusive past. But you know, I see Finn walking, and again, just another nod to the excellent acting in this movie, where you know Finn is just walking on eggshells a little bit, and the three of them have this weird relationship. But yeah, without getting into a whole deep diatribe about the evil of alcoholism and the stigma behind it, and you know what it is and what it isn't. It is a terrible thing that can be introduced in your life, which apparently came from or caused initially by some post-traumatic stress.
Yep.
Do I forgive the dad? You know what I liked about him. You know, this is not black and white. It's not, oh, I went from alcoholic, abusive piece of shit to, you know, awesome dad angel. No, he's got bastard tendencies in this movie. but his intentions come through,
Yeah.
and not to jump around. But when he does show up at the end, it's like, okay, because as soon as Finn leaves the house, and I didn't see the first one, I'm like, this fucking guy's having a drink,
Right. And
and he
I,
doesn't.
yeah.
And so that was awesome. And then he shows up at the end. We're skipping around a little bit. Sorry about that. They're stuck in a blizzard, so he gets a truck with a plow on it and does what he has to do to go rescue his kids. Let's be honest, 9 out of 10 times, both kids are gone. He doesn't know they're trapped in a blizzard, but he thinks they're away for 2-3 months at their first job as a camp counselor.
Yeah.
So kudos to the character for getting through that.
Another thing I loved is how vague they made the phone call. He makes this phone call, and my first thought is, oh man, he's got the house to himself. He just watched that beer commercial, right? They're really driving it home, right? He,
That's the detail that
yeah,
Haas picked up on that I didn't
he's
pick up on.
he's making the phone call, and I'm like, he's calling his sponsor. Look at this,
Right,
look at this
right.
good dude calling his sponsor, and the guy may have been his sponsor. I think he was.
Right, that's what I thought too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he was his sponsor, but then he says, "You have a favor. Is the whole fleet out?" And you don't. In my mind, I had no idea what he was talking about.
Me neither.
I didn't until he shows up at the end. It was like, oh,
Yeah.
he was talking about a plowing fleet, and he plowed his way up there to take care of his kids. Okay.
So, Haas, if you have IMDb open, can we give a nod to the two writers? I think there was two writers. I know Joe Hill was not directly involved, but he did approve of this project.
It was Scott Derrickson, who's also the director, and C. Robert Cargill, who I also believe was a writer on the original Black Phone. He was. But
Okay.
he also wrote Doctor Strange, The Gorge, and Sinister. Sinister, also directed by Scott Derrickson, which also starred Ethan Hawke, and is in my top 20 of all time. If you have not seen Sinister,
Top 20 of all time.
It's probably number like 19, but it's
Right.
top 20 of all time.
Well, I love The Gorge, so.
The Gorge was great too.
That's not what you said when we reviewed it.
I think I gave it like a 6. 6 is a good movie.
I think I gave it an 8.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well. I don't
And
know.
there it is, folks.
I don't like CG monsters. Okay. I hate that shit.
Yeah, this movie. Did you catch any CGI or?
Yeah,
I know
there was.
At the end, they said, we do not authorize the use of this movie to train AI. And I really, really appreciated that. I was like, that is fucking great. That's the first time I've seen that in end credits. Did you catch anything that just pulled you out of your suspension of disbelief at any moment, Haas?
There was definitely CG in this film. I think most of it was used to enhance practical effects, especially in the blood and the chopping and that kind of stuff. But no, maybe at the end on the ice skating sequence, but if there was, I can't remember, so it must not have been that impactful or that important.
Okay,
So I give this even though there was a decent amount of CGI, I give this a pass.
Right, so we got the thumbs up for practical effects, suspension of disbelief on Black Phone 2.
All right. Back to the house where we have seen the father open a bottle of sparkling water.
I love sparkling water.
Kind of dance around being a dad, giving dad orders. Is he allowed to give dad orders?
Is he allowed to give dad orders?
How harsh can he be? Like he doesn't. It is a dance. It is a delicate subject because of the abuse. And then Finn, as soon as the father leaves the room, Finn reveals a bag of weed he was hiding under a pillow. Goes outside.
Which is the perfect setup for a Gwen speech later.
Yep.
That's all I'm going to say for now.
He goes out to smoke. Gwen comes out, talks to him while he's smoking. They talk about telling dad. She's like, "I'm no narc," and this is how Finn is numbing himself out. We saw earlier. He walked by a black phone. It rang. He answered it and said, "I'm sorry, but I can't help you," and hung up the phone. And then the camera turned so we could see that the phone was out of order.
So obviously, I know something is going to go on with a black phone and this kid. but when I see that, it doesn't have the impact as if would have seen the first movie first.
Right,
So
right. For me, it's like, oh, okay, so he's turned his back on his gift. Um, he's numbing himself out with weed, and so he has a journey here too. Like, even though once again this is more about Gwen's powers, and the first movie was more about Finn's powers, both characters are definitely on their own separate arcs that they
yeah.
will, they'll kind of traverse together, but um, they're dealing with their own demons. That
So
night,
Haas, if you write Black Phone 2, do you have him do something other than weed? Because weed is very, very accepted these days. It's legal these days.
yeah.
In the '80s, Nixon had just criminalized it because he was an awesome president. So, do you put him on something else in the '80s or
Nah,
do you save the character?
it's
What's your
it's
feeling on that?
it's weed, man. Like every '80s high school movie, the
So weed is enough.
kids are smoking weed. I mean, Breakfast Club was weed. Dazed and Confused was weed. There's no reason for it to not be weed for a high school kid.
Fair enough.
Um, so Gwen has a dream. And what I like about Gwen's dreams is I'm fairly certain they used an effect to make the image look like it was shot on 16 millimeter or 8 millimeter film, something older, and then the effect will fade away to crystal clear HD when she wakes
Hmm.
up from her
Yeah, I
dreams.
I
So
really love that
yeah,
camera work.
they did that a bunch of times throughout the movie. All right, so she has a dream. I think her first dream is like a little scattered, but it definitely has the first boy, and he does like a W,
Yeah.
and Finn wakes her up like in the hallway of the house. It's just establishing this. She's still having her dreams, and it's coupled with sleepwalking.
And he's scratching it through ice, and I don't know he's under like a lake, a
Right.
frozen over lake. So that was another again another nod to the writing. Just very creepy, very scary, very well done, either with or without having seen the first movie.
So we're gonna go on a little slow. The One of the reasons for points off from me on this film is that there's a lull, um, and it is unfortunately a dialogue heavy series of scenes with the kids, and then the camping staff. Once it picks up, it's like all go for like 30 minutes straight to the end.
Mm.
But this lull I felt was a little long. Maybe the whole movie was a little long. I don't know what the runtime was, but I definitely felt.
I
Um,
didn't mind it when they got there. I think the blizzard for me created enough tension. Oh, you're the only ones here, which is very good writing to explain not having to hire a bunch of other actors.
yeah,
But they hired some people to play. I think one of them was like a religious zealot, and the guy that she was with,
her husband. Yeah.
Gwen, whose dialogue I love.
Oh yeah.
There might be
She's so vulgar, right?
it- beautifully vulgar,
Yeah.
vulgar the way you should be. Like put some sauce on it, put some thought into it. And so watching the second movie first, I'm like, okay, this girl has a speech pattern, but she has the exact same speech pattern even at a way younger age in the first movie. So I loved it. Some beautiful humans that exist may not have appreciated that as much, but I love the way Gwen's dialogue just flows. So between that and the blizzard, I did not mind the lull when they got there. So for me, I'm trying to put the pieces together. I didn't see the first movie, so for me, I'm trying to fill in any blanks that may exist. So I'm paying a lot of attention to this guy's exposition and the explanation of how he bought it, why he converted it, which doesn't
Yeah.
matter to the first movie, but what to Black Phone Zero, as it were. So I'm paying attention. I didn't mind it as much.
So we're back at school and we're learning some stuff about oh she no, that's just after the second dream. So the second dream, she finds herself walking right to the grabber's house and into the basement. And her dream, the phone rings. She answers the phone. She gets the phone call. This phone call is the teaser. So the teaser is before the credits. A woman goes to the black phone at a frozen landscape at the camp, essentially with the frozen lake, and she has a very strange phone call where she doesn't understand who called, why. She saw it in a dream. They,
I love that. Everything that you're describing right now, like the beginning of the movie, there's a woman who's on a lake. She's getting a phone call. You don't hear what the other voice is saying, but it was so well written that it was organic and authentic without having to fill in what the other person was saying. But yet, it being just one half of a phone call, we weren't lost. But when the other half of the phone call comes in, I love this. If
yeah, this was
Joe
this
Hill
was
learned some
great.
shit from Dad, because this was some Stephen King level, awesome level shit.
So the other half of the conversation, and as we put it together now, is Gwen in this dream talking to her mother in real life. Did her mom experience that in real life into the future of Gwen's dream, or is it all just for the dream sequence? Um, she has a conversation with her mom, with her dead mom, where she tells her that she's at the camp and basically sets the course in motion.
So the question is not, did Gwen have a conversation with her mom? The question for me is, did Gwen's mom have a conversation with Gwen?
Right, right.
That,
Did Gwen's mom talk to Gwen in the future in a
right,
dream in her real life at that moment?
right.
Yeah.
Because how we experience time may or may not be how time flows. I don't know. Get Neil deGrasse Tyson on the podcast, but you know, I. So I'm going to ask you. I'm going to say yes.
I'm
Did
gonna say
Gwen's mom talk
absolutely.
to Gwen? Okay,
Absolutely, she did. Yeah, yeah.
that's scary and creepy.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so, definitely. So she gets woken up by Finn, who followed her, who heard her leave the house and followed her. Um, her feet are soaked in blood because earlier in the dream she stood in blood. I believe it was the second boy. So she's seen two of the boys die now in two different dreams. Um, and oh, no, no, no! Oh, he gets visited by the brother, right? Gwen gets visited by the brother at the end of the dream, and yeah, yeah, yeah. He's got the axe in his head, just like how the grabber killed him in the first movie.
Okay,
And the grabber comes down the stairs, and that's when the dream kind of fades away, and it was Finn who came down the stairs, not the grabber. Um,
right.
so now we're in school,
Well, this
and
is the scene that just for everybody's clarification, you know, Finn finds her where he was, and there's great camera work where the graffiti on the walls, like kind of like
yeah, it's been
comes in,
like
fades in gradually,
destroyed, yeah.
and so you realize that where she was in her experience of it is different from what it is now. So time has gone by. Kids have gotten in there and tagged up the place. So it looks like shit. But this is the moment where Finn just does not have, and maybe he's concerned, maybe he's focused on his sister, and he's gonna like put all the trauma aside and do what he has to do to help her and get her out, and then viscerally react to it. For me, that's where the point is that scene right here that you just described.
Right. So yeah, this is where he spits on the floor when he leaves, and it
So you
probably
weren't bothered by that? You weren't bothered by him going to where he was not just abused, man. I mean, the first movie is up. Like,
yeah. I mean, if it's a year later, maybe, but I think if we're talking about 5 years, he's he's grown up a lot.
he is a warrior now,
He's a
for
warrior.
sure.
He's a warrior. He's also probably high, because we know it's post bedtime, right? So
Okay.
like he, there's a lot we could assume.
And he is focused on his sister.
He's
You
focused
know,
on her, and we know he's like every decision he makes throughout the entire film is to protect his sister in a way.
let
Um,
me see if I can get up to an 8. I don't believe in 7.5. I think 0.5 is bullshit. Let me see if I can get up to an 8 by the end of this review.
did you give it a 7? I thought you gave it an 8. You gave Black Phone 1 an
No, I'll give it a 7.
8. Okay.
You gave it a 6.
I did give it a 6. Yeah. All right. So now
6 is a high number for Nate, everybody.
it's not high. It's just a good movie. So,
Moving on.
8, 9, and 10 are reserved for great films. 5, 6, and 7 are for good movies. 4 and under is for the schlock. If it's a 5, I will recommend it to a certain type of person, not to everyone.
Right, to a person who you can like it. So a
Yeah,
5 is worth the cost of admission at a movie theater?
not necessarily. For the right person, it is.
Right. And is a 6 is worthy of movie theater admission?
To the right person, it is.
A 4 is not.
No, a 4 is not. A 7, which is like the top of good, 7s are always worth the price of admission.
So, I definitely didn't want to get into this because this is more, me and you. We have to welcome Hasparatu back to the internet. He has gone through some shit, and it's been a while since we have recorded.
That's true.
That said, Haas can share or not share whatever he wants as to why. It's nothing inappropriate or crazy or egregious or disgusting. So, with that said, it's been a minute since we've been here. In addition to Black Phone 2, or I think before it, I went to see. We were supposed to do Good Boy.
Right.
So this is not Black Phone is terrible, and we're going down a rabbit hole because Black Phone is terrible. Black Phone 2 is great. However, this is because we've been gone for a while. I saw Good Boy first, called up Haas, and was exclaiming that he had to watch it because I felt so tainted, stained, ruined, hurt spiritually, physically by that piece of shit of a film that has such great reviews, and the trailer makes it look so good. Like, holy shit, did they just break movie making? No, they did exactly what you're afraid they fucking did. They filmed their goddamn dog and want credit for it. Eat shit. And then Huss, you saw Good Boy. Like, we have to clip this obviously into its own separate section. But this is all we need for Good Boy. You saw that heap of shit, right?
Yeah, I did, and I could say some nice things about it in that.
Yeah, so could I.
Like I really enjoyed the cinematography. I thought the story was a kind of lame allegory for cancer. Yeah, it was bad. I probably would have given it a 4. The highest bad movie mark I could give a movie.
A 4?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, definitely.
The cinematography was beautiful, and if this guy wants to use that movie he made and created, and there's an absence of bean counters right now, because don't tell me he didn't use AI, at least for the marketing he did. And anybody can make a movie these days, but that doesn't mean everybody should. So if he wants to use it on his resume to get a job on a film, great, do it. I want everybody to be successful. That heap of shit is a 2. It is not 825 Forest Road, which is a damn good bad movie.
Which
It's not a 4.
I think I gave that like a 5.
I gave that a 4.
But I liked it.
I thought you gave that a 4 as well.
Maybe. I don't remember.
We don't agree
so
on
long
numbers.
ago.
It was a while ago. So Black Phone 2, what moment are we up to in Black Phone 2 so I can get past the post-traumatic good boy disorder?
Well, hold on. We're doing a little digression. All right. So here we go, guys. There it is. So while I was
you look darker all of a sudden.
Yeah,
it's because ominous.
I got black over here. There we go. All right. So that photo I just put up is the cover art. It's a little pixelated because I couldn't get a good cover while Stephen was talking. So in the last month, I put out my new book. I had hernia. I had hernia.
We are going down the road. I can't
see just a little one. So yeah, you can't see the cover, but there it is. So it's called The Last Laugh. It's the second book in the Dread Time Stories series, which, if you're following any of my books on Bookspy, is getting great reviews.
So Last Laugh, A Beautiful Human. We stopped by Good Games in Oneonta, New York. If you're in upstate New York, definitely come by and check it out. Where Last Laugh is available. It is being read, and from what I'm hearing, it is a damn good story. So I asked her to read my first collection of horror short stories, and I asked her, who's a better horror writer, Stephen Anthony or Nathaniel Roberts? And she hasn't read Nathaniel Roberts yet. She hasn't read No One's Coming. but she
Ah,
did read Wish Me Not.
she did
So
read
she read
Richmond.
Nathaniel Kane,
Yes,
and
the
she's like,
is the kid
so
author.
she's like, two separate genres. And I'm like, you know what? You can compare Divergent to Hunger Games. You can compare the young adult version to the adult version, and
Yeah.
tell me which one's better. So stop the shit. So yeah, the jury's still out, but guys, definitely check out Last Laugh on Books By.
Yeah, and then I had a hernia, and then I had a hernia surgery, and then it took me weeks to watch movies because they were in
And then he had an immature
theaters.
friend making jokes about how he broke his dick,
Yeah, yeah, because
which is not what a hernia
a
does.
lot of people think it's a testicular when you say hernia right away, and this was definitely a umbilical. So that was
Was I the only immature person that made references to the improper part of your anatomy, Haas, when you went through that ordeal?
nope. No, you were not.
It was not original.
Not
Damn it!
original. Okay, so now that we've caught up on what I was doing for a month while we weren't podcasting, we're back
He
at
kept
school.
busy, folks. You know,
Yeah.
being in pain doesn't mean he's not gonna finish. Nate does so much work. I know this sounds like I'm just like, blowing up my friend's spot. No, he does so much work in these books. He just goes over it with a meticulous level of attention and detail that I just don't have the bandwidth to do when I write my stuff. I need to step away from it and come back like a month later. Haas just pounds on it, and the proof is in the pudding. You read the books, and it's just very, very well written. So
Steven, I appreciate that. Thank you.
you got it, man. That's just facts.
Um, okay, so back to the Black Phone 2.
Black Phone
We're
2.
at school after the dream, which we'll call the inciting incident. Um, and she is researching ghosts, and she's got a flyer for the camp, and they're hiring counselors in training.
Is she researching ghosts or is she researching dreams? Or is she
Dreams,
researching
yeah,
both?
dreams and ghosts. There's a couple
Yeah.
woo woo books, and so Ernesto comes up and makes a woo woo joke, and she takes offense to it, but then quickly backpedals when he apologizes and didn't
Right. Like
mean.
she had, and this is the part that I rewatched, she had a mean girl walk by her right before that. So it sets up whether or not, Ernesto is going to be, the mean girl's lackey or pawn or whatever jock douchebags are in that world. So yeah, I just answered the question I was about to ask you. Is he authentically interested in ghosts and dreams, or is he just saying what he needs to say because he has his own motivations?
Um, I think
Because he's about to be trapped in this world,
well,
whether he
yeah,
likes it.
I think he's generally interested. Like he doesn't know he's about to be trapped in the world, which if he knew, I think he would also be interested. But I think he is genuinely interested because of what Robin went through with Finn. I think the rumor of
Yeah. Okay.
that is enough to get him interested, get him involved. Um, so the idea here is Gwen wants them to go and get counselor and training jobs at the camp to do some more investigating to figure it out. Um, the boys died there. She's got the clue. She had the third dream where the third boy died. Um, so they came to her and said, "Help us or free us. We're not supposed to be here." So she's kind of trying. She's like thinking, like, okay, so their bodies aren't at rest. Where are the bodies? I have to go put the bodies at rest. This is kind of her motivation. Um, they don't know anything about the grabber at this point being involved. Um, Besides the fact that the mom used the black phone from the grabber's basement to contact Gwen, there's been no real grabber stuff going on. This is
I'm
just
almost mad that they put it in the trailer, but there's going to be a great scene when he pops up and he tells Finn, "You should know dead is only a word."
yeah,
It's such a great line. I understand why they put it in the trailer. It's going to get asses in the seats, but
yeah. It
man,
was
if they hadn't put it in, if they just relied on the success of Black Phone 1 to
yeah.
get people there, what a pop that would have been. Like, fuck. We already talked about Ethan Hawke's gravity and power as an actor, but damn, what a great line. Just writing and acting coming together. So terrifyingly beautiful Lee.
Yeah.
It was fucking great.
So Stephen already touched on the scene where they tell the father they want to take the job. He's like, no. she's she's like, what are you gonna do? Hit me? And we get a moment here with Gwen where you even see the look on his face. He kind of and rolls his eyes, and you understand. I think, or at least I understood how someone can throw your past into your face
Yeah,
and how you are so over it,
yeah,
but they're not. And so he
and they're
had,
not wrong.
yeah, and they're not wrong for not being over it. And you just
Yeah,
want them to be over it so bad. And he just wants them to be over it so bad so that
yeah,
they can move on and
because
be
he's a different person, but they're the people that old him made them into.
right. Exactly.
And
Exactly.
those two are now coming ahead. It's brutal. Fantastic writing.
Yeah. So and the performance from the father here, like it's such a subtle reaction to a line that is not relevant to him, but is completely relevant to her, and you really feel it in this moment more than when you feel it between him and Finn. I think.
Hmm.
Um, so they end up going,
Yeah.
and Finn and the dad are on the porch, and they're like, "What do you think of that guy?" Talking about Ernesto, right? He's like, "I don't like him." He's like, "I don't either," and then he's
So
like,
yeah, um, again, this movie just it delves into those moments and those relationships and those quirks. It's not badly written, because if it was, okay, you have two kids that were abused, one who went through his own shit, but the dad really just went way too far with Gwen in the first movie. Obviously they're gonna hate dad. No, they're able to have conversations and live together and struggle and have these moments and these conflicts. And this movie, that moment is relatively lighthearted. It's a lighthearted thing
yeah,
that they both took advantage of, and I
yeah,
think Finn intentionally took advantage of. I think the dad was just there in the moment, like he's there. This
yeah,
is my son, this is my daughter. Neither one of us are going to be prepared for her to start dating. I think Finn was giving a little bit of permission, forgiveness, acceptance toward his dad in that moment.
yep, yep,
He
yeah,
was in touch with it a
absolutely,
little bit.
absolutely. It was a moment where they were father and son,
Yeah,
and that because they could align on a singular concept, which is um, that's my daughter, that's my little sister. I don't know if I trust this guy.
yeah,
Um, so he's like, shit. He goes inside, he packs a bag, and he comes out, and he ends up going with him.
yeah.
Um,
And good thing he did, because like seconds later they're gonna be in a blizzard.
yeah.
And Finn, holy shit!
What this moment was I love this. This is like the a defining Big Brother protector moment.
Big
I
Brother protected moment, but it's shit that we did in the '80s because we didn't have the technology that we have today. We can't look, you know, on a screen on our phone and see where the road is.
right.
No, we got out and we fucking ran in blizzards. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
great,
I love
just
this scene. So they're stuck in the blizzard.
fantastic writing here.
They're stuck in the blizzard. Ernesto is driving. He says something, and then Gwen shows some concern, like
Like,
we're
this is really dumb here. We could drive
we
off
could
a
drive,
cliff.
and that's when Finn bundles up and he's like, "I'm gonna run ahead of the car. Just drive behind me." And you're like, "Wow, Finn is." This is where he's like, "Okay, Finn has grown up. Like he's still self-medicating those
Yeah,
memories he's running away from, but on the other side of the coin, he is definitely responsible. He feels
mhm,
responsible for
yeah,
things. In this case, protecting his sister, making sure they don't get into an accident, etc.
yeah.
Getting to the camp. All
And
right,
he does extraordinary shit. Like, it makes me think of Die Hard. Was it McLean? That Bruce
McLean.
Willis played.
Yeah,
Where McLean's great because he does all this awesome shit, but he doesn't have superpowers. He's a human. Not by the third fucking movie, no. This is a moment where Finn should get some actual McLean credit, that he gets out and he does something we could all do. But listen, it's cold, it's a blizzard, but he's faced with the three of them driving off a cliff. He does what's necessary. So, great sequence here.
All right. Eventually, they're going to find Mustang riding a horse, and she's going to lead them into the camp.
Her name is Mustang.
Mustang. And
She's Native American.
yeah, someone says like the car, and she goes like the horse.
Right.
So
The car would have been a dopey nickname, but like the horse would have been a cool, badass ancestry.
yes. She takes them in to meet Mando, who is the camp, the head of the camp, whatever you want to call him, runs the
And this
camp.
is the lull that you were talking about before, or was the lull?
This is where the lull starts, right? Like
And
kind
this
of.
is the lull for you, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, after her first dream is the lull, leading up to them revealing everything to the camp people and forming the major posse. So
Right, the
from
alliance.
dream one to dream two, essentially, the dream that ends in the kitchen is the lull.
Haas is breaking it down.
Mando lets them know that they're the only ones who made it. He knew the blizzard was coming. He called everybody, and you're the only ones who didn't answer your phone because they had such a long drive. When he was making the call, they were already on the road. There's only support staff here. Everybody else is gone. So it's Mando, it's Barb, or Barbara, as they would be quick to correct you. Her husband is. Does it matter? I don't think he's on the.
Really doesn't do anything. He's just there to temper Barb, who's a bitch.
Is it Kenneth, maybe? And then we have Mustang and we have Mando, and I think that's the whole staff. So take those four, and then we add.
So Mando's the guy who bought this place,
Yeah.
and why this is relevant is he knew their mom,
Right.
and he's going to tell them about that. But you're going to tell us how he told them about that because you remember it way better than I do.
Add those four to Finn, Gwen, and Ernesto, and you have basically this nice little Scooby gang.
Mm-hmm.
So Mando gives the quick rundown. Boys bunk here, girls bunk here. Mustang says the bunks can't mix because he'll lose his license. Finn smokes some weed.
So that felt like bullshit to me. Did that feel like bullshit to you?
So there are two lines. One from Mustang when she tells him about that, and then Mando when he catches Finn smoking weed. And Mando says the same thing about the bunks. So three times, when I felt like it was such a bullshit forced line.
Like, yeah, it feels like a bullshit force line. I don't know why they did it. Whatever tension you needed to create, like, oh, they're being rebellious by they're in a fucking camp. Everybody's gonna be mixing and mingling and quite frankly fucking. Like, hello.
Yeah. So the lines, I could lose my license. Bro, you're in the middle of a blizzard. There's no one here. You can't lose shit, bro. Like, and then when it gets serious and he catches Finn smoking weed and he's like, I could lose my license. And you're just like, are you fucking kidding me? He's still talking about this camp nonsense when they're chasing fucking spectral bad guys. Like,
the line that I did like is like
when he took it away from him.
Yeah, he took the weed away from me. He's like, this isn't even good shit.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
That line I really appreciated.
Yeah. What I love about Mando is he's covered in tattoos. Like he's got hand tattoos, he's got prison tattoos.
He's reformed,
and he owns this camp, and he's the light of God, blah blah blah. And he tells a story about being homeless, just like when I was on the streets. But he doesn't talk. He never said prison, but prison's definitely in his backstory. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So really love the Mando character in general.
Yeah, he was good.
He was really good. So she has a dream, and Finn gets a call, and who's on the phone? None other than the Grabber, letting him know that.
So this is the moment we've been waiting for. I'm assuming this is where your lull ends, Haas, and are we off to the races?
No, no, not yet.
Oh,
We're close though. No,
okay.
no. This is where the lull ends because this is the kitchen. This is the second dream. The second dream is when he calls Finn, and he tells Finn why he's there. He's there to make him pay. He's there to kill everyone he loves before he kills Finn. So
Right. So the
that's how he
grabber
knows
does
after
give,
Gwen.
correct me if I'm wrong, he does give him a badass line. He's pissed that Finn killed him.
Oh yeah, he's like, hell's not fire, hell's cold, hell is ice. Come on, Finney, you should know as well as I do that death is only a word. Great line. Meanwhile, while this is happening, the grabber's actually fighting and beating the shit out of Gwen in the kitchen in the mess hall, and
Mm.
everything the grabber's doing in the spectral
So
world is happening to Gwen in the physical world.
there is some conflict between Gwen and Barb where Gwen's awesome language comes out. Barb sees this, and I'm thinking, okay, I don't think Barb's going to become a believer. And again, this is another nod to the great writing that's here. So she's forced to like wrap her head around it. Uh, Refresh my memory. Does Barb wrap her mind around it by just putting it in the context of, I don't want to say religious bullshit. I don't want
No,
to offend.
it is religious bullshit. She says that girl's got the devil in her.
That's it.
She thinks she's possessed by the devil. That's how
Okay.
she justifies what she saw.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. And it calls
Which
later
I
calls
think
her a
paints her
demon
as an asshole
child.
even
Yeah.
more in my book.
Oh yeah, no, she's a terrible character. I think her and her husband are both maimed at the end, but I wish they were both killed. Like the body count of three, which was the three dead boys and no one else dying in this movie, was a little upsetting. I think Ken and Barb were ripe for the killing and should have brought the body count up to five. Um,
I know body count is important for you. I'm going to sound like such a snob when I say story is important for me. Not killing them, it's just, I don't know.
well,
It feels more realistic.
he sliced Barbara across the skull with his axe. He could have
That's pretty
just
lethal.
it's bloody. He could have literally his axe could have went into the skull, hit the brain, killed the lady, move on. Like
See, what I would have done, and yeah, I completely forgot this part of the movie, so I'm going to rely on your amazing photographic memory. Injure them, especially Barb and Ken.
well, he did. Yeah, he did into
Okay,
them
but
both.
lob a foot off, like
Oh, sure.
get like right there down the center of the foot. That would have been great. Let that
Yes.
bitch limp for the rest of her life.
I mean, they definitely bowed out of the fight after he did what he did to them. So mission accomplished, I guess. If he's just trying to get people out of the way so he can kill Gwen, and then Finn in turn.
So let me ask you, Grabber reemerges at this moment. Where do you rank his mask? And they did more things in this sequel with the mask than they did in the first movie. Where do you rank his mask in movie, not even movie mask history, but horror movie face
Yeah.
history?
All right. So I love the Grabber's Mask. There's only two movies in, so I mean, you can show him some love, but like you can't show him like hockey mask love. Um,
Jason is I'm gonna say the best for you. Is that what you're saying?
no, I'm just saying it's like 12 movies. Like you know, he's only done two movies. We
Okay,
need we need to see the Grabber way more. Um,
okay, and we will.
before he can reach Hall of Fame status. But I do love the mask. I love what they did with the mask. I love how later in the movie you get him with the top half missing, and then
Yes,
in a scene right after that it flip flops and the bottom half is missing.
yes,
I love how it comes off in the showdown, and
it
he
was awesome.
freaks out. And he
Yeah,
freaks out, and he's crippled without it, and he has to take it and put it back on in order to continue fighting
so
the
great.
kids. Like, so they stuck to lore that was established in the first movie because the mask was knocked off in the first movie too, and he was also pretty much paralyzed by his own like anxiety, panic, freak out until the mask was put back on. Um,
So what's his deal? Because you know the answer. I'm assuming. What's the deal with him and the mask? Does he need it?
well,
What's the
yeah,
connection?
I mean, from like a mental illness perspective, right? Like his
Okay.
persona is the mask. Without the mask, it's his armor. He's completely exposed without it.
Okay.
That's
That's
my
great.
guess.
Creepy as fuck.
All right, so they have that showdown in the kitchen. Amazing scene when she gets cut and like then gets spun, and the spinning and the blood just goes everywhere. Oh man,
Hmm.
what a great sequence! He's come after her a couple times. She's got some dreams that reveal that the kids are in the lake, and the initials WBH. Man, there's a scene with a ton of exposition. Probably the worst scene in the movie. Mando tells all the stories, and he figures out their connection to the mom, and blah, blah. This all gets revealed. And WBH, Wild Bill Hickok. Wild Bill is what they used to call the handyman. Wild Bill. WBH is the letters the kids scraped into the
Okay.
ice,
And
and
that's the grabber.
that's the grabber. Wild Bill became
Bill.
the grabber. Wild Bill was just a handyman on the camp, and these three boys were
Okay.
his first kills when he was figuring out what he wanted to do and be his own mythos,
All right.
his
So
own SO,
his name is
SOP.
Bill Hancock, apparently.
Hickok,
Hickok.
Hickok, Wild Bill Hickok,
Hickok.
Hickok.
What an unfortunate name.
Well, that's what they called him because that's a historical Wild West figure, and so
Okay.
that's what they called him as a nickname. So do we call him Bill? Is his real name Bill? That's all we know about him. Is that his real name is Bill?
Okay. So
Um,
we don't know from the first movie his real name either. Then.
no, that's correct.
Okay.
Even the credits has Ethan Hawke and the name is Grabber. Like
Yeah, the grabber. Yeah.
so it's not even in the credits. Um, so Gwen reveals the kids are in the lake, and that's when Mando puts it all together. Wild Bill, the mom, the kids in the lake. We used to have an ice fishing spot. That's where Wild Bill's like hut was, his little shed, the thing he was in control of for his maintenance tools, whatever. It's got to be, it's got to be on that side of the lake. That's probably where he was doing all his dirty stuff. They put the whole crew together to start, sweeping and getting the
That was
snow.
the weirdest action sequence to me. It's like,
It was a montage.
yeah, that montage scene, and every movie does it, according to their world. So if it's this is gonna be terrible, Ghostbusters grabbing their proton packs, or if it's just Stranger
Yeah.
Things grabbing salt to make a whatever chamber for her to float in the pool,
Yep.
and everybody's working together. Here we have a Zamboni
Yeah.
on a frozen over lake in
Uh,
a converted Christian camp. It was just
sure. And we
it
have
was
a
cool.
we have a
It
ho-
was
we have
cool. It
like
definitely
a
has like Stephen King DNA in it, but
we have like a 2 horse and buggy. We have Mustang on a horse. We have a small Zamboni. We got big janitor brooms. The big janitor brooms, the ones that you see them sweeping the
yeah,
cafeteria with, you know.
yeah. That's the this is the equipment that we're gonna use to
Yeah.
overcome this giant peril.
Also, the father has shown up now, so we get the reveal there, which we spoke on earlier.
Hmm.
He has a little showdown with the kids. No, we're not leaving. Finn wants to leave because Finn is in protector mode, not understanding that Gwen is her own person,
Yep.
and this is where they both realize that Gwen maybe can take care of herself.
And
Maybe she's old enough
if
or
we
big
didn't
enough.
know that this is Gwen's movie at this point, and we're pretty much know it from the beginning, we definitely know it now.
Right.
Because she's going to steer the three of them in the right direction. All three of them are staying true to their characters, their histories, and operating with the best knowledge that they have
Right.
available to them. She's going to drive it home. No, we're going to do the right thing here. We're going to stay and we're going to fix this shit because we
Right.
can't.
She's already revealed that the mother is who called her to the camp, but she has not revealed her most recent dream, the dream from the night before, where the grabber showed her that their mother dreamed about the first boy he abducted from their town, and she followed the boy and the grabber to the grabber's house. The grabber saw her, and the grabber kidnapped her and hung her from the rafters in their garage. To which the father found the mother, thinking she committed suicide, not murder,
Mm-hmm.
blamed himself for everything. And this is where Finn and the father, I don't want to keep calling him the father, Terrence, Finn and Terrence, um, get on the same page as Gwen. They're like, oh, what? You mean all those years being abused by her drunken father
Yeah.
was the grabber's fault?
Yeah.
Because he's the one who triggered his spiral, and he's why I don't have a mom, and he's why Finn went through what Finn went through 5 years ago.
It's a great
Oh,
moment, but it's
okay.
also an argument as to why they shouldn't make a third film, because
Oh, yeah.
the grabber can go on, but do Finn and Gwen go on? Because everything's very, very neatly tied up.
Tied up at the
So
end
to
of the
not
film,
have it
yeah.
be canny and cheesy and forced, I don't see any other threads here that need to be neatly tied up perfectly,
Yeah.
seamlessly, like this scene did.
So Terrence stays, and he joins the cause. He is the eighth member of the Scooby Gang, and even Mando or even Barb and Kenneth join, even though she's the demon child. Um, During that dream, Mando was the grabber knocked the ice because Mando stayed out late looking, and the grabbers smashed the ice, and Mando fell in the ice. And when Gwen woke up, the first thing she said was, "Mando, he fell in the lake," and they got to him in time. So they use her saving Mando's life as the reason Ken and Barbara need to get off their ass and help, even
Mm-hmm.
even though they don't want to be around the quote unquote demon child, which is what Barb calls Gwen. So they're all out there on the lake for the final showdown. They got to find these bodies. Gwen puts it together that the reason um, the grabber is able to manifest here is because of the power of the souls that he has destroyed not
Mm-hmm.
being put to rest. Because their fear of him exists, because they were not laid to rest, so
Mm-hmm.
it exists here. He is able to manifest here. Makes sense why he can't manifest in their hometown because
Mm-hmm.
all those bodies were found and buried. So this is um, a fine explanation.
It's almost like
Although,
they got a prequel and a sequel and like married the two together. It was really very well done.
yeah, the one thing I would say about this explanation is that when Gwen gives it, it doesn't make sense how she earned it. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
make sense that she knows that this is true. She doesn't even say that it's a hunch. She doesn't. It's like she's not positing. She's not hypothesizing. She's saying he draws his power from the kids. We got to find the kids, bury the kids, and then he'll go away. Uh,
Yeah, it would have been nice if there was like a dream sequence where she had to like walk through something and put the pieces together. And
yeah,
one of my favorite movies, Ghost, I'm asking the exact same questions as Patrick Swayze's asking him, and the next scene it's just it lays it out so well. So a little bit of that sprinkled in here definitely would have cranked it up a number for me.
yeah. She definitely should have known that the information she was delivering was true, and they should have showed that to us. But that's why
Or at least
it's
like, hey guys, I don't know how I know, but yeah, I need you to trust me.
yeah.
Give
So
me
they find one body. They don't get a chance to dig it up because the incident with Mando. They're trying to find the other bodies. They can't find the other bodies. Gwen, sits down on the horse and buggy and she goes right to sleep. And we think she did it on purpose. We know that she forced herself to fall asleep so she could find these bodies in the dream world. She hops right into the water. The grabber's there, so the grabber's fighting him on the ice. She's under the ice. She finds the barrels. She kicks the barrels up, and they like burst up through the ice. All three of them. Well, one of them doesn't quite, but Terrence selflessly jumps into the water to maybe die of hypothermia.
I remember none of this, but I am enjoying your retelling of it.
Terrence jumps in the water to
I ain't
grab.
jumping in that fucking
Yeah,
water.
he grabs the third barrel and he throws it up. He pushes it up, and then he comes out. While this is all happening, the grabber is cutting up Ken and Barbara. He's swimming around. Him and Finn are fighting. He's going after Gwen. They're trying to wake Gwen up, but she won't wake up because she's fighting him on the other side. And
Right.
while Finn is fighting her on our side, um, yeah, we get to a point where it's gonna be Finn or it's gonna be the grabber, and grabber's coming for him, and Gwen in her spirit realm pops one of the barrels up. The skeleton in the barrel reaches its hand out and grabs the grabber's foot while he's skating
Yeah.
with Finn, and
Yeah,
so
that part
now
I liked. I
yeah
was like,
he's
yeah, they're getting their vengeance.
yeah it stops him and he's got to chop the hand off to keep going after Finn. But then this time Finn is recovered and gets to fight the grabber, which is really cool because the grabber's invisible to Finn. So he's literally fighting him by knowing where he is just by
Right.
feeling the body parts. He gets to the head and he
Yeah.
smashes the head
Yeah.
into the ice, um, and gets to return the line, which Hollywood writers love to do. Hell isn't hot. It's cold. It's
Yeah.
ice. It's ice. And yeah, the grabber dies, and the kids are freed, and we're almost about to live happily ever after. And I think this
Almost.
this movie would have been great if right around here, when the kids kind of give their send off, we kind of just went to credits. But a full point off for the scene that is about to happen.
No.
A full point. A full point.
No.
Yeah.
I didn't mind this scene at all.
So the phone rings.
Some things that Hollywood bean count douchebag sequel setter uppers do can be cool.
So the phone rings.
This is not I know what you did last summer terrible. This is not bad.
And Gwen looks at Finn and says, "Can you hear that?" So now we're like, "Oh, Gwen heard the phone ring," and we're like,
Right.
and
Which
Finn,
is awesome.
and Finn goes, "No, it must be for you." She
Oh,
she
creepy.
answers the phone and it's her mom from heaven. Like,
From heaven, we hate that shit.
yeah, Gwen's like, "Where are you?" She's like, "You know where I am. It's beautiful.
What if heaven and hell are the same
It's
place?
beautiful here."
What if heaven and hell are the same place and it's
Cold?
a neighborhood and you got the nice side of the tracks and the bad side of the tracks? So, I think you're thinking of it as two different countries, two different planets,
Sure.
different galaxies, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Maybe if it's not terrible, if you just realize, and yes, I know some people think heaven and hell is right here and it's what we make of this existence that we got. We can get into philosophy later.
Yes. So let's.
I don't think it's terrible for that. My point is, I don't think it's terrible for that reason.
Right.
That it's heaven. This is a horror movie.
No. I'm not saying it's terrible because of the heaven. I'm saying it's terrible because she got his power all of a sudden out of nowhere. For me, if their mom wanted to call, Finn should have answered the phone, and
I agree.
and she should have said, "Hey Finn, I love you. I don't have a lot of time. Can you put your sister on?"
Well, this was her movie. Yeah,
that's where she.
I agree 100%.
And plus that gives Finn a little bit because she gives nothing to Finn.
Yeah.
So give Finn a little bit. Hey,
This
Finn.
was her movie, but Finn could have answered the phone, and it still would have been Gwen's movie.
Yeah, and this scene would have been way better. Just, hey Finn, I love you. I'm sorry I don't have a lot of time. Can you put your sister on? Hey Gwen, I love you.
And that would have been a creepy, cool explanation of how she has phone answering ability in the third one. If Finn answered the phone and, hey, give it to your sister, and he hands her the phone, that would have been a cool explanation of the transfer.
Right, and that also sets up an advancement of his power, is that he can lend his power to people by handing them the phone, which is kind of cool, right?
Which is kind of cool, and that would have given us a lot of fuel for the third one. They were clearly thinking of doing something for the third one here in this last scene, but they did not hire Stephen Anthony from Dark Claw Studios or Nathaniel Roberts from Basement Media.
I keep telling they should call me, but
I say that every fucking commercial and movie I watch.
Nobody calls me. Um,
to their detriment, Nate.
yeah, yeah, a whole point off for that scene, and then we get some credits. So wrap up. I feel like it's a really good movie. I mean, I wouldn't call it great. It's very good.
It's very good.
I would recommend it to pretty much anyone, and I would definitely doubly recommend it to people who liked the first one.
Well, horror fans, I would say go see Black Phone 2.
Yeah, yeah. This is a movie you will or should have seen at least once in your lifetime
Yeah.
if you're a fan of the genre.
I think if you're not as introspective as Nate, or if you're not as immersive as I am, even though I'm also introspective and Nate is obviously also immersive. I think anybody's going to enjoy this movie. Definitely go see it. But if you are and you appreciate talking about a movie after, it's going to give you something to discuss over dinner. What did you think about this scene? What did you think about that? And do you agree with the guys from the podcast that are recently deceased, or are they just pulling shit out of their asses? It gives you stuff that you can delve into and research and get into, and you can watch it and notice stuff on the 50th time you didn't watch it. The 50th time you watch it, you'll notice stuff you didn't notice the first time.
Absolutely. For the podcast, for the recently deceased, I gave the Black Phone 2 a 6.
And guest hosting from Dark Claw Studios also for the podcast for the recently deceased, I give Black Phone 2 a 7.
And we'll see you next time.
And before Nate hits stop on the record button, go to darkclawstudios.com, but go to BasementMedia.Online. Get your copy of The Last Laugh and No One's Coming. And Wish Me Not.
And Wish Me Not. Buy them all. Whatever.
Get them all. Don't stop. Don't fight the feeling. Do it.
And we'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
All right, brother. Hour and 20. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man. Listen, that's all you, brother. I had a couple moments where I needed to pontificate, but you were detailed, but you also, all jokes aside, you got the pace when we needed to, so it was great.
Yeah. I had to gloss over some of it just because we were already at like an hour when we got to the lake, and I'm like, oh god, we got to finish this.
What time are you gonna be at the store?
Today?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be there in the next 30 minutes, and I don't know how long I'm gonna be there for, and I'm leaving probably by 3. So.
We'll stick around for like 45 an hour because I'm on my way.
Oh, okay. So you'll be there by noon.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right.
Also, see you soon.
That I can definitely do.
Great cast, man. Thank you.
All right. Later on.